Welcome back to my garage. Sorry for the lack of updates. It's been a pretty hectic winter and I haven't gotten anything done really, but it's time to get back into the YouTube stuff, and I have a nice project to get started. I got a package from Alex, 2Stroke Stuffing. If you follow his channel, you should recognize these. If you don't, then you should. I'll leave a link below. So yeah, let's take a look what this is all about. Okay, so he's trying to make the world's most powerful 50cc engine, and he's been casting his own cylinders, and these are the two latest castings. Now it's my job to machine them, because these are raw castings now and it's pretty rough. This is the second last one, and there's a little, it has a couple of flaws, but I'm going to use it for like testing, and hopefully the flaws will clean up during the machining, and yeah, maybe it will be usable anyway. So here you can see this is one flaw. It's not a big problem, you can just fill it with epoxy or something. But I'm going to weld this before I start machining. Then there's this. Probably should weld that too. But the biggest problem was, I'm not sure if I can get this on camera. Here. It has some damage in the bore, but I think that will clean up during machining. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to be doing this one first. And I got my order sheet here. So the idea is I'm going to take machine 3mm of this surface, and then the total height of the cylinder should be 69.1. So there's about 10mm that's going to come off the top, something like that. And then it's drilling some holes, boring it to size, clean up this stuff here. Yeah, that's basically it. My plan of attack is to mount this in the lathe, and then machine the bottom surface and the bore in one go without removing it from the chucks, because then we are sure that they are perfectly aligned with each other. And after that I will drill the holes and make a mounting plate, so that I can put the mounting plate in the chuck and put this on to the mounting plate, and then this surface should be perfectly parallel with the bottom as well. And after that it's just machine this surface, the exhaust flange, and I'm going to do this surface. This is just an inspection hole, he told me, so doesn't really need to. He was just going to put a cover on it, but I will machine it nice and flat. And then some more stud holes here and here for the head. So yep, that's basically the plan. But I'm going to start with the test cylinder, and before I do that I need to weld these damages. And before I weld it I am going to grind it, so I actually have access to it. So yep, let me get started with that. I think this will be fine. It's just to get a good sealing surface here for the gasket. So onto this bit then, I guess. Okay, there we go. Should be fine like this. And let me clean it, and then I'll put it in the oven to preheat it a bit. And then I'll try to actually weld it. I think that's good enough. I'm going to remove 3 millimeters from here, so should be fine. It's not exactly round, but at least there's some material there now to drill into. So I'm gonna let it cool off now, and then I'll put it up in the lathe. So what I'm gonna be doing, you can see the drawing here. Zoom in a little bit. I'm going to be removing 3 millimeters from here, and the skirts here. This I just need to clean them up. So turn just enough so they clean up and they are straight and everything. So that shouldn't be too bad. Most of the time it's going to be in the setup. So yeah, yep, let's go over to the lathe and get it set up. Came out pretty good. This is nice to machine in. That we like. So this is what it looks like now. And this wall will disappear when boring. So now I'm going to do this surface, remove 3 millimeters. So yep, let's continue. I actually have a DRO here, so I'm using that. I just zeroed it on the current surface. So now I just need to go to -3. Next up, I am going to bore it, but I'm saving that for tomorrow because it's getting late and I'm getting tired. So tomorrow, but for you, through the magic of video, it will be right now. So today is tomorrow. Think about that. I'm going to be using this little boring bar because it's so small. Normally I use this one, but it won't fit in the cylinder, even not even close. So guess we'll have to use the small one. So we'll see how that goes, I guess. So yeah, let me get this set up and then we'll start turning and see what it looks like. Okay, so I want to keep the stick out to a minimum, because it's the more it sticks out, the more it's going to be vibrating. But it still needs to reach all the way through. Or it doesn't really have to, because the top of the cylinder is going to be removed. But if I don't bore it all the way, then chips are going to collect here in the top and going to cause trouble. There's some irregularities around the ports that I need to get rid of first. So that's what I'm doing now, that's why I'm starting in the middle. Get that somewhat close to the rest of the board. Yeah! Okay, so sorry I wasn't filming, but made a new boring bar, or I had this one but I had to modify it to fit. I was using this little one before, but it was vibrating too much. But then I had this one, but I didn't have a holder to fit it, so because this is 1¼ inch and my holder was 30 millimeters, so I had to machine it down a little bit. So this is what it looks like now. Let me take the cylinder out of there so you can take a look at it. Okay, so this is what the board looks like. Its finish is really nice, smooth. But you can see a problem over here. There's some casting flaws that are too deep. The cylinder is at 40.0 millimeters now, so this is the final size. So unfortunately this first cylinder won't be usable, but Alex will try to he will use it for testing the plating. So I think I will finish the top side as well. It also needs to be machined, just so I know what's gonna happen. Now I'm going to do stuff for the other cylinder here. So yeah, let me do that, and then I'll get started on the other one. I'm going to start with cutting the top off here on the bandsaw. Could cut off a little more, because there's about 10 millimeters that needs to go away from here. So I think I will cut it like here or something. See how my bandsaw likes this. It's not very pretty. This is full of sand. Okay, I got most fit out of there. I think that's it. There we go. Looks pretty good, I think. There you can see the problem. Pretty good. So There's another one here in the exhaust, right between the exhaust and the transfer. But yeah, so this is what the cylinder will look like, with a bunch more holes in it, of course. I will see if I will put any holes in this one. I'm going to start on the other cylinder first and see how much work it is to put the holes in. So yep, let me get started on the other one and see you in a bit. Okay, so I've machined the bottom of the other cylinder, and we're going with a slight change of plans here. And on the first one, I machined 3 millimeters of the bottom and then made the total height 69.1 millimeters. But because it's such a rough casting, it's hard to know where the 0 point is. So can easily be like half a millimeter off, and that's pretty much what happened because the port timings were a little bit off. So for this second cylinder, I have removed a little more from the bottom, and we're going to ignore the total length of the cylinder. I'm just going to machine the top until the port timings are correct, and then you can shim the bottom using some gaskets or spacers or whatever to get everything in the correct height. It seems safest. So I'm about to start boring again now. I'm not sure if I can start with this one. I don't think I can. The bore is probably too small still. That's not going to work just yet. So I guess I'll start with my flimsy boring bar. And when the bore is large enough, I will change to the big one. The finish doesn't really matter until I'm getting close to the 40 millimeters. Okay, so let's see what we ended up at. This was supposed to be the last pass. .00. That's good. Looks pretty good, I think. Okay, I'm skipping the bandsaw this time. I'm just going to machine the top all the way. It's not that much work and my bandsaw didn't really like it. So yeah, here we go. This is what the top looks like. So check the drawing here. What's remaining is remove 3mm here of the exhaust flange, and then drill some holes, those holes, as well as the holes for the studs, and the holes for the head. I'm not sure how I'm going to clamp this into my vise yet, but I guess I'll figure something out. I think I'm going to start with the stud holes, and then maybe make a plate to bolt it on, so I have something nice and square to keep it in the vise. Okay, so there's no real straight edges on the cylinder, as you can see. So I got a couple of spacers. I will put them something like this, and we'll see if that works. They really didn't need to be this long, but that's what they are now. Actually, I'm going to shorten them. Shorten them so I can stand them straight up like this. Okay, that looks like it's stuck on there. Now I'm going to find the center of the bore. I have my DRO here, so I'll just zero my DRO on the center, and then I have all the coordinates that I need. Okay, looks fine. The bolt pattern for the studs is 86 by 86 millimeters. 86, 43. So if I just go to 43, 43, that will put me in the right spot there. 43. Long spotting drill, and hopefully it will reach. Okay, so I'm going to do the holes here in the same setup. So for that I have my hole pattern function. I'll just do it and it will be self-explanatory. Center 0, 0, that's correct. Diameter, as you can see on the drawing, 30 millimeter radius, so diameter is 60 millimeters. 60. Number of holes, 8. Starting angle, try 0. End angle, and so we have 8 times 45 degrees to make 360, so I need to subtract 45 from 360, that's 315. So now I got my coordinates for hole 1. See how this actually worked. There we go. So now theoretically I should be the correct position for this hole. It looks like we are. Yep. Just going to put this down a little bit. Okay, I think I'm going to do something else too. I'm going to machine these areas flat. There we go. Okay, so for the final operation I'm going to remove 3 millimeters of the exhaust flange. This setup is a little bit sketchy, but I think it will have to do. We'll see how it goes. I'll take it easy, and if it doesn't work then maybe I'll have to rethink a little bit. Went fine. Finish isn't great, but I'm just removing material now. Doesn't look too bad. It's a lot smoother than it looks. So now the really final operation is to add the stud holes. So this is what the exhaust ended up like. Just remembered I have one more operation, which is to bead blast the bore, the preparation for the plating. So I'm going to do that, and then that's it, I guess. Need to clean this a little bit. I'm not going to film it because the bead blasting, because I can hardly see into my blasting cabinet in the first place, so having the camera around is just not gonna make things easier. So I'll show you the result like now. So as you can see here, cylinder developed a little problem while I was blasting it. A lot of small bits appeared out of nowhere. They weren't there before the blasting. It's not the blasting that's the problem, the bits would have come anyway. I talked to Alex about it, and he thinks that maybe he heated the aluminium too much for this particular cylinder. I blasted the other one as well, and it has a couple of small bits, but nothing like this one, and this one was cast with a colder temperature or something. But it's not the end of the world, hopefully. Should be able to run it anyway, and maybe after honing and plating, most of the bits will be gone. Maybe the Nika seal will go inside the bits or something. Not really sure, but it seems, as you can see here, the exhaust flange is also full of bits, so it's just seems to be just something a bit wrong with the casting. But not much we can do about that now, so I'm just going to send everything back to him, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll have to machine some more cylinders for him if it doesn't work, so we'll see, I guess. So I think this is it for my part. I'm going to send everything back to him, and I guess he'll be posting progress as soon as there is any. It was fun getting involved in this project. I'm really curious to see how it's going to work out. I'll leave a link in the description in case you haven't seen his channel yet. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.